Hey class, welcome to the outline tutorial. Just going over a few things here with you. If you notice, this will help bridge from what you took from your assignment in DQ1 this week on the thesis and allows you to build up to where now you can complete an outline. When you look at this worksheet, I'm sure you're thinking it's a lot more complicated than it looks. You're probably right, it does. It's not that complicated at all. I'm going to go over how I built the introduction and just the first subtopic, okay? But I want you to see how this is not an essay. So if you write an essay, like if you write full-on paragraphs, I'm going to kick it back with a 0 and you're going to redo it with a 20% initial deduction. So don't write the essay. And if you write an essay, and it happens at times, students will write an essay and then without watching this video, or they'll skim through this video and write an essay, it's going to cost you a lot of points. This is learning how to structure the essay. This is a very important part to writing week 4's essay. Okay, so just pay very close attention. Now, paragraph 1 on your essay will be the introduction. Paragraph 2 will be your first subtopic. Paragraph 3 will be your second subtopic. Paragraph 4 will be your third subtopic, and then your fifth and final paragraph will be the conclusion. And then you want to put your references, same references you've been using since week 1 and week 2. You'll just put them here in alphabetical order by last name, okay? And we'll go over that in a second. But you want to make sure, I'm just going to show you how to do the introduction and one of the subtopics, because once you get this first subtopic down, when I show it to you, then you just go back to your other articles and start pulling information you want to use. Okay, first disclaimer, you're not going to write everything you want about this topic in 5 paragraphs. It's a 750 to 1,000 word essay. Okay, there's not enough area space for you to write about everything, so you don't want to clutter citing a bunch of stuff. Okay, so if you have a lot of cited material in an essay, that's not good. Majority of your essay is presenting a few, maybe 1 to 2 cited facts per paragraph, and in this case it'll be 2, and most of it's going to be your analysis. And I have an example paragraph I go over for coming up for next week when it's time to write the essay, okay? But not to go more into that, but let's just go ahead and get started here. Okay, and I filled some of this out already, so let me go ahead and go over it again. Now, notice here's a thesis. This is the same thesis you wrote in DQ1 this week, okay? It's the same thesis. Remember the one I created about servant leadership, right? And I have it word for word, okay? Once I structure it this way, I'm going to keep it this way. The flow's fine, okay? So notice how I have my 3 subtopics again at the bottom, okay, at the end, all right? Now this is just you organizing the introduction. Hook sentence is not a question. It's the first sentence that you're going to write that grabs the attention of the reader. If you're a book reader, you know that first sentence when you pop open that first chapter is important. It catches the reader's attention. It's not a question, it's not a cited fact, it's a statement. It's a strong statement. Okay, make it only 1 sentence. Remember, you're doing the skeleton of the essay. You're not writing an essay yet. Additional background could be a couple sentences, doesn't have to be much, just to get you thinking about what you can write about your introduction, okay, when you do write it. But this is important right here. Notice how, again, my thesis statement from DQ1 even says here, DQ1. And it also says to look for my feedback. So if you're submitting your thesis statement, you need to go back to make sure you have full credit. If you don't have full credit, then you need to revise it. Because remember, this could be up to 20 to 30% of the grade. If the thesis isn't correct, 20 to 30% off is huge, okay? So notice how my first subtopic is employees' emotional behavior. That's going to be my first subtopic point, employees' emotional behavior. And then my second one's improves advising relationship. Subtopic 2, improves advisory relationship. Third one, develops ethical behaviors. Okay, notice how I don't have this stuff filled out right here, but I do have this first one like I said I would. Okay, so where do I find information based off that? So first off, I got to go to my first article that talks about emotional behavior. Okay, let me go ahead and pull up that article real quick. But if you go back to your annotated reference list, remember this one was here, right? Affects emotional behavior, emotional labor. Okay, so I'm going to go to this article. Okay, you could do it by going to your link that you saved in week 1, or you can do a word search. Hopefully you still have it. You can also do it by this DOI number right here. Okay, you can try and copy and paste that into it to see if it works. Hopefully you have access to it, but you should have the link in your week 1 worksheet from the brainstorming worksheet. Okay, so that's what you're going to do is you're going to go to that article. I'm going to go to that article. And again, where am I going to find my information? I'm only going to find it in the discussion or the results area. Okay, remember how this information here in the intro, all the citations that they're doing, notice how it goes back to 79, 83 and all that. That's called seminal research. That's in a dissertation or research article, you have to show the background that leads up to the gap, what they call the gap, the missing part. Okay, and so the missing part in research, that there's a gap, that there's a need for a study. Okay, and then I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to get to results. And if you can understand this stuff, that's okay. A lot of it is statistics. That's why you go to the discussion area. And again, you're going to see stuff cited from the past, like the reason why is you're going to see what the researcher found before compared to what they found in this study, in the year that they did it. So you'll see stuff like right here, like our findings show that, contrary to some previous studies that reported positive relationship, blah blah blah, and it goes into what they found. Okay, so you'd have to read through it to make sure you're understanding what they found compared to what's in the past. Okay, so make sure you're finding stuff like, for me, I'm going to find stuff that was found by these authors in the year 2019 versus what they reported in the past. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. So going back to this, all you're going to do after you write in your subtopic, you're going to just pick 2 facts from that one article, and that's enough. That's all you need, and you're going to present it here. My first fact is here, cited, and I cited it different ways to show you. You could do all your citations like this, or you can do all your citations at the end. It doesn't matter. Right now I'm just showing you. It's good to have a variety, okay? But according to these authors, researchers, building trust is essential to building that emotional connection between manager and employee. Okay, that's one fact I want to elaborate on in that subtopic. Okay, then it says, for my second one, caring for that employee's self-interest is the core of how a servant leadership can drive the emotional state and influence top performance levels. Okay, that's what I got out of there. All right, and then I cite the researcher. I'm not quoting. There's no quotes. It says paraphrased. Okay, it says paraphrased. I didn't take that word for word. I read it and then I put it in my own words. I still have to cite because the researchers are the ones that still came up with this information. I'm just putting it in my own words, and then I have to cite. Notice how it's just one sentence each. It's all you need. Okay, don't worry about writing a full paragraph yet. Don't worry about setting yourself up that way. Don't do that. If you write paragraphs, I'm going to send it back with a 0 and a redo requirement. Okay, so it's very important to structure your essays or your outline like this for your essay. So one sentence here and one sentence here. And then you'll do the same thing. When it goes to improved advisory relationship, I'm going to go to that article. Okay, and if you remember, that article was the second one right here. Okay, improving advisory relationships. I'll go to core Smith and Dodgeny, and I'm going to go to that article. And I'm going to pick out two things from that article, two aspects from the article that I want, that they found, that I want to present to shows improving advising relationships. So see how I didn't force these subtopics. This is how academic essays are written. They're written based off of what's found in research, not what I want to write about. Okay, this is how I learn, this is how I become a scholar, and this is how I expand my horizons when it comes to some research topic. Okay, and then here's the thing. When you come down here to your references, I have them in alphabetical order. Okay, I did use this one first, I believe. Let's see, which one did I use first? Yeah, the Liu, Zhang, and Jia. Okay, but that doesn't mean I put it first here. I have to put this in alphabetical order. All right, so see, notice how I have it in alphabetical order. All right, so it's pretty simple. If you have any questions, just reply to the tutorial. I know this is a little bit longer tutorial than before, but this is what happens when you get some of these deeper assignments, these longer assignments. Okay, so if you have any questions, please let me know.